we go. I'm gonna need you guys to talk real quick.
No, and when you buy them in the store, they don't have much sauce on them. So that's why I started buying a pizza crust, and then I can put all the sauce I want on top of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, guys, we're live.
Sweet.
Hey, welcome to the second episode of the O2 Cup Series podcast. I am Rob Lowell, one of the league admins. I am joined by Dave Lamaga and Jeff Barefoot, two other league admins. So, good evening, guys.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
Hey Rob, how are you?
Sweaty palms. We just finished our last recruitment race at Daytona.
Uh,
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
It was. Good mix of guys. Preview of what week one's gonna look like, right? We're at Daytona for 80 laps. So
yeah, that was a good hard racing. There was a lot of side by side for a lot of laps there. That was fun. Like say, sweaty, definitely sweaty palms.
yeah. Um, I am not a fan of super speedway racing. I I am not a fan of pack racing, but that was fun. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of hate it too, especially now that there's going to be points on the line. You know, it's going to be a little different story.
Yeah. So
well, go ahead.
let's get right into this into the upcoming season. So we just finished. Was it 9 recruitment races? I think,
I think so, something
or
like that.
12, something like
Yeah,
that. Um, and we have a pretty good roster right now. Um, we're looking at, I think we have 22 registered as of tonight, of which 18 or 19 are full timers. So, going to start off
Yeah, it's
with
going to
those.
be good. Hopefully, we get a bunch more full timers in there. You know.
Yeah, and hey, we'll always be open to picking up drivers as the season goes on.
Yeah,
I
that's a big thing, and I think drivers coming in, late in the season, we won't score them with points, but I think, you know, it could be less of a fee or a reduced fee of something.
right.
But regardless of that, which race are you looking forward to most, and which one are you dreading the most?
Oh,
well,
dreading's easy.
I'm going to say super speedways to look forward to. That seems to be the only way I can get toward the front right now. But yeah, I do like the super speedways. Dreading, I don't do good at Charlotte. I'm good for about 6 or 7 laps, and for some reason, I lose my tires quick. So I've got to practice and do better at Charlotte.
I would say for me, I dreaded Watkins Glen. You knew that was coming, Dave.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I knew that one was coming.
and then as far as which one I'm looking forward to the most, that's pretty easy for me. I'm going to tell you it's Dover.
Yeah, you
I
like Dover for some odd
I
reason.
love Dover. Um, Dover is probably my favorite track on the series. Second to probably Homestead. I
Yeah,
know
I like
second is
I
Homestead.
like Dover for like 3 laps.
Um, I tell you, Dover is a tough track. It's all about corner exit, and it's all about where your front end's pointed in the middle of the corner to get off and not get loose up out. So, um, good news is, you know, you're a teammate of mine this year, and Jeff's and Johnny's. So when we go to Dover, we'll have our team practices, and maybe for a change, I can share some knowledge with you, and maybe I can help you get where you liked Dover a little bit.
Well, I was about to say that, like where Jeff, Charlotte's one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to Charlotte out of any track. I love that track. That's definitely one of my top. But I'm not looking forward to any super speedways.
Let me see if I can get our.
It's kind of crazy because when we go to Vegas, I run good at Vegas, but I just something different Charlotte for me. But I'll
Well,
work on it.
again, I guess I'll have to share some secrets with Charlotte. 'Cause I raced a money race. When was it? I forgot when it was. A few weeks back, and somehow pulled it off. I don't know how I did it, but it was a fuel. I somehow lucked out on fuel mileage, but it was. I love Charlotte for some reason. Anytime, even in the street stocks, I love Charlotte. Even in the street stocks, and the street stock, that's just like full throttle super speedway.
Right, right.
I am gonna bring up our schedule
That's
here.
that's what's good about having teammates. Because the guys I have now with Rob and Johnny and Gene, which is going part time this year with us, but they help us a lot. Oh, help me a lot when we do these practices through the week. I don't think they share everything, but they share a lot with me.
Yeah, I'm used to just practicing alone with the reference car.
So I got the schedule up here, guys. They should be able to see it on the YouTube channel. Um, and we are live on YouTube. And if anyone's got any questions, don't be afraid to throw them in the chat. I do have it pulled up so I can see any questions we have. But let's jump right into what the season looks like and what our plans are for the season. So we have a 15 race schedule. Um, 16, I guess, if you count this week's Halloween Havoc. It's an exhibition race. Um, didn't really want to do like a clash of the Coliseum because it's a short track, and we didn't want the hot tempers to start off the season, so we went to we're going to do 90 laps at Michigan, and it's going to be three 30-lap segments, and I totally ripped off um, the world famous Milk Bowl here at Barry's Thunder Road in Vermont. They run it each October, and what it is you go out and you time trial to line up the first segment, and you run 30 green flag laps. They do 50, but we're going to do 30. And whatever the finishing order is at the conclusion of lap 30, we'll throw the yellow. We'll come down pit road. You can change tires and add fuel at the break. Only time you can change tires is at the break, and we'll sit on pit road and we'll take the finishing order. I'll just take a snapshot as we're coming around the pace lap before we come in of the finishing order of first segment, and then I will call out the reverse. We invert the full field. So whoever finished last in the first segment will start in the pole, and I'll have a picture of who finished where, and you get a point for whatever your finishing position is. So if you finish first, you get 1 point. If you finish 10th, you get 10 points. You go back out and you race another 30 laps, and come in, park on pit road, do the same thing, change tires, put fuel in it, invert that finishing order, and then you race the final 30 laps. You get the final finishing order, you sit down, you do the math, and whoever has the lowest total score of the three segments by adding the points together is the winner. And the winner will get a $15 iRacing credit. Second place will get $10 of iRacing credits, and third place will get $5 iRacing credits. So just a little fun race kick off the season. Give everyone a chance to race together um, before we go to Daytona.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I never raced a format like that, so sounds really, really, really gonna have a blast there.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different. We are going to have to run full fuel load just so caution, because caution laps are not counting. So we'll run a full load to make sure we can make it the distance without having to pit for gas, and that's gonna be a little different. These cars handle different with full fuel load. So between now and Sunday, league members, if you get a chance, maybe turn some laps to full fuel load at Michigan and see what it is. It will be the fixed iRacing setup. So that's the exhibition race on October 30th, and then we get to November 6th, which is Daytona. And Dave, I don't know if you want to walk us through the schedule here.
Yeah, hold on a second. I was actually in the middle of loading it up. Yeah, we started at the dreaded Daytona for 90 laps. So that's going to be a fun one. You know, I think, although I dread super speedways, I'm sure you feel the same. I mean, if it was anything like tonight, I think it's going to be a fun race. Especially when you start to think about, you know, not having unlimited fast repairs. I think people are going to start being a little more conservative, but I think it's going to. I think it's going to be a lot more fun than the usual Daytona race. Then we go to Homestead on November 13th, which it's a wide track, as you know. So that's always leads to a fun race. That'll be 125 laps during the day. On November 20th, we are at the last great Coliseum, which is Bristol Motor Speedway, for 180 laps, and that will be at night. Bristol, that's going to be fun. We had a couple really good recruiting races at Bristol, and those recruiting races, I know we were all in them together a few times. I mean, that was a lot of fun at Bristol. You had the inside line work and outside line work and middle line work, and you had just all crazy stuff going on, and it was clean and fun. So I'm really looking forward to Bristol this year. Then we go to Michigan for 90 laps. Then to Charlotte, December 4th at night, which will be your usual Charlotte, which is always a fast, exciting race. I know, Jeff, you're not probably looking forward to that one, but I know I am, as always.
Oh, I like it. I'm just not very good there.
Then we go to
That's a race that I guarantee you, one of our teammates, Gene Cato, will make sure he's not trucking that week. So, Gene's gonna be a part timer this year because he's back on the road trucking. But Gene is the master of Charlotte.
Yeah.
He's got this little trick where he can run high into the corner and exit low, and I feel like I'm pretty good at saving tires. Gene just kills me at saving tires at Charlotte. So, Gene Cato, if you're listening or you're listening to this later on this week, we got that one circled, and we hope to see you there, bud.
Then after Charlotte, we are at the all famous Watkins Glen. I know, Rob. I know this one you have circled on your list as most favorite. You know,
that will be my drop race.
The Glen is fun. At least it's not Sonoma. I mean, it's still time to switch it to Sonoma if you want to do Sonoma.
Hey, I can race anyone for 5 laps at Sonoma. 5 laps, I am good at Sonoma, and then I go right to hell. So,
well, Sonoma's hard because everything's blind. There's so many blind exits to that track. You just have to have faith that you know your line and you're doing the right things at the right time. I mean, that's the hard thing about Sonoma. At least Watkins Glen, you see everything before it comes.
Yeah, and that's the only reason we picked it. It's a little easier for guys to race on, that are less experienced on the road courses, but it still gives us that road course race to kind of round out the schedule.
I mean, NASCAR's always had a couple road courses. You think back in the day, I mean, they had Riverside and and Sonoma. I mean, you think about some of the road courses they used to race, and they've always had a road course. So then we get to go to a new track. I don't think we've never had a season race here. So this one, for some of the people who've been in the league for a while, maybe they'll have this one circled just to be like the first time winner at a track we've never been to. So that's 100 laps in Nashville, which I've never raced there before. So I have no idea what to expect in Nashville at all.
I have never raced there, and I hope this is the only time this is on our schedule, because I really hope Marcus Smith and Dale Jr. get the Nashville Fairgrounds as a cup race, and I would love to see the fairgrounds on our schedule for season 3. There's no track that's more fun in a super late model than the Nashville Fairgrounds, and I can only imagine what the cup cars would be like there with a good setup built for that place.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. It's kind of like it's like Wilkesboro. Wilkesboro is one of those hard tracks, but it's so fun to race at that track, in either the modifieds or even these cup cars. I love Wilkesboro.
Absolutely.
Then we have 2 weeks off, so we have the holiday weekend, and then we have New Year's weekend off. So that's December 25th and January 1st. And then January 8th, we go right into it. So we go to Dover, which is always tricky with the walls on both sides of you, and it's super super fast and slick. Rob, I know you have that one circled.
Absolutely.
And this one will be our first paint scheme race. So basically, what we have going on is throughout the year, just to kind of keep things fun, we do a series of different paint scheme races. This will not be the paint scheme that I give out for free. But if you want me to do one for you, I will gladly charge you a fair rate to design a Toontown race scheme for you if you want. But it's not mandatory. So basically, the idea with these themed races is just pick your favorite cartoon in this instance and put it on your car. We just ask, no profanity, no nudity. Obviously, keep it PG 13ish. Try to keep, I've done Road Runner. I've done some South Park before because we've done these Toontown races a few times. So Ren and Stimpy I've done before. So I know there's a bunch of different ones and everyone kind of enjoys it. So make sure you have January 8th, your Toontown paint scheme ready to go. And if anyone needs help loading a paint scheme or doing anything like that, I know I'm more than willing to lend assistance. We do have a questions and answers and troubleshooting page for paint scheme loading on our Discord. So you can check there if you have any issues or want to figure anything out. Then the next race is Las Vegas. It's 100 laps. That's at night. And that's another themed night race, and that's a movie night race. So again, this is pick your favorite movie and either design a car for it or find one that's already designed. It could be Days of Thunder, Knight Rider, the A-Team van. You can do not Scooby Doo. Sorry, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to do. It's pick your favorite movie and do a paint scheme for it. Then January 22nd, we go to Atlanta for 125 laps. New surface, so this is going to be the new Atlanta, not the old Atlanta. So it right, Rob? Is that what is new Atlanta, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the new Atlanta. It's super speed racing on a mile and a half track. It's pretty intense.
Yep, that's going to be a sweaty one. So that's during the day. Then January 29th, that is Darlington, 140 laps. And this is actually my favorite, the themed race we do. And this is the classic throwback night. Basically, when you sign up for the league, we give a free paint scheme. So basically, we're going to figure out a era or a year to do paint schemes for. And basically, first come, first serve. I basically put a list online on the Discord page. I put a list up. First person to claim that paint scheme gets it. And basically, I go through the list and just start giving out paint schemes of that design to whoever. Everyone gets one. So just make sure you tell me ahead of time. I like to make sure I know like a good week and a half. I want to get all the paint schemes out typically like 2 weeks early. So that way, if you have loading issues or anything like that, we can figure it out and get everyone loaded.
And
It looks like I think it's going to be 19. What we were talking about, 1999. We're thinking Dale Jarrett's championship year. I think it was 99.
yeah, I like that. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, yeah. That was a
I
good
mean,
year
you
of
got
paint schemes.
you got Steve Park, you got Dale Jr., you got Senior, Tony
Yeah, Dale
Stewart. You
Jr.
got
ran 5 or 6 races that year, so he'll have. I believe he was in the AC Delco car that year, for like 5 or 6 races. But yeah, there's a lot. You got classic Jeff Gordon in that era. You got um, Ricky Rudd. So that's
Yeah, I'm
exciting.
trying to. I was looking it up. I forgot where my photo is.
Um, and then let me just jump in here for a minute, Dave. So that Darlington throwback race, that is also the end of the regular season. So we haven't really talked about um, the league structure this season and how we're doing it. So it's $10 out of the league for the season, and what that does is that gets you into all the races. It gets you your throwback scheme. It gets you into the Discord and all that. Um, and it lets you race for the championship. So if you pay the $10, you get to race for points position. You get to race for the championship. But we've added this year as an optional $5 pay-in, And what that does is that buys you into the optional cash point fund for the league. So if you pay the extra $5, you're eligible for the point fund. And when we started this, we said it was a minimum guaranteed $200 payout for the point fund. And the way what we were looking at was paying the top five in the championship point standings, and then the top three non-championship point standers. So that'd be eighth, ninth, and 10th place in points overall. But we've had enough revenue generated throughout this. We're going to be able to pay the top 10 in points, which means January 29th, we lock in the top 7 into the championship playoff, and that's going to be a complete reset. So on going into the February 5th race at Chicago, which is the first playoff race, the top 7 in points are reset to 0. And those 7 race heads up for the next 5 races to decide the champion. 8th back, they just keep what they got for points, and they keep racing for 8th place. That's as high as they can go in the points for the rest of the season. But we're gonna pay. Looks like $70 for the championship, 60 for second. It's gonna be 50 for fourth.
You mean third?
Third, I mean, yeah, 40 for fourth. 30 for fifth. 20 for sixth, and $10 for seventh. So, and then 8th place in points is gonna get $30 as the best of the rest. We're calling it. So it gives those guys that are out of the playoffs in mid-pack something to race for still. So we keep that involvement going. Sometimes if people get eliminated in the points, they say, "Hey, I'm gonna take some time off and not race." We want the lead to keep a healthy car count. So 8th, 9th, and 10th will be racing for 30, 20, and $10 respectively. So it gives everyone something to race for points wise. And I'll be honest, we still have a few race sponsorships up for sales. So if we get some more revenue, maybe we can pay back to 12th even. So really excited about having a cash point fund. I think it's taken off better than we could have hoped for a month ago when we came up with it. And it's just one more thing to help grow the league. And I want to thank everyone that's
I'm
helped.
surprised it took off as much as it did.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everyone that's, bought into the point fund, that has, stepped up and sponsored some races. We have several league members that have stepped in and said, "Hey, I want to sponsor 2 races. I want to sponsor 3 races. I want to sponsor 1 race." Every race sponsorship helps, and thank you guys immensely. Really has helped the league grow.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, one thing is, if we keep car counts up and keep exciting races, that's hopefully when you get other small time little companies like Butt Kicker and stuff like that to maybe send you some free stuff. So it's kind of hopefully we keep the car counts up, and then we can actually start giving away more prizes.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you grow a league, and then you get everybody wants to jump in that league. That's what we want to grow into.
Yeah, and I mean, the last year was a good season. We had a good group of guys, and a good group of racers. It looks like this season, I mean, all the recruitment races, there's been a handful of guys. I mean, most of them have either joined the league or waiting to be accepted, or waiting to accept their invitation into the league. But they were all fun to race with. That's what we're looking for, is people that want to have fun on Sunday. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't do many open races, so it's nice to it's one Sunday, so I want to have a good race. I'm sure there's other people that feel the same way. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've become very selective about what open races I ran. I ran Homestead last week, and my SR took a beating. It was hot and slick, and everyone was loose middle out, and it took all week. And Johnny and I probably raced 5 or 6 races together, and finally the last race last Sunday that I ran, we went green to checkers for 50 laps, and that was fun. Old worn out tires and stuff, but I try to avoid the the series races just because it's a lot of wrecking. So
Yeah,
I mean, every once in a while you get into one that's like a blast. Every once in a while there's one that you get into that's just a really good time with some really good people. I did a modified one a few weeks back. Of course, me and my love the modifieds. So I did a modified a few weeks back, and it was a blast. It was awesome.
Asphalt modified.
Of
Tour
course,
modified, right?
yeah, of course.
Maybe we can get
You
you in a
know,
dirt mod some night on our Tuesday night league.
my
I'd like to jump in
I,
that one night.
I can't handle those things on the dirt, man. I cannot. I'm not gonna lie to you. The winged cars I can handle, but those dirt modifieds I cannot. I cannot do like 3 laps in a row without just losing it.
So we open up the playoffs in Chicago, Chicagoland, I should say. We don't want anyone to think that's the Chicago Street Course. That is Chicagoland. Um,
And
great
I
little.
like Chicagoland. I'm looking forward to Chicagoland. That's a good track.
Yeah,
Nice
it's a
and
great
wide,
track.
fast.
It's too bad NASCAR took that off the actual Cup Series schedule. It's a good race.
Yeah, it's one of the better races.
Yeah,
Like
the
every
thing,
year, it's been one of the good races.
and it seemed like every year the Cup Series went to Chicagoland, which is in Joliet. It seemed like it was 100 degrees out that weekend. Um, I got friends that went out there every year to it, and you know, every other weekend out there was 85, high of 85, and Cup weekend always seemed to be in the high 90s. So, March 5th after Chicago, we take the Super Bowl off, and we take the Daytona 500 weeks off. So we have a 2 week break there from the February 12th and 19th. Um, and you guys that know me know that that's my speed weeks. I'm down in Florida racing that week. And this year we're gonna be racing the super late model 1 week and the big block modified the next. So that'll be interesting. And then we come back on March 5th. We go to Kansas, another great track that the league's had a lot of good racing at.
Yeah, Kansas has always been a good race for some reason in our league. It's always the most competitive one too. It comes always down to the wire. One guy's always going along into the apron. One guy's always riding the wall. It seems like one of those tracks that's just.
Or some jerk jacks you up in the left rear and moves you up the track, right?
Did that happen to me? I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been me.
Now that we're teammates, I'm supposed to forget some of these things.
Hey, I just had some PTSD from North Wilkesboro, and I just kind of had a flashback at that moment. But hey, water under the bridge.
You just wanted to rattle my cage a little bit. I get it.
Yeah, hey, like Dale Senior said, I didn't mean to wreck him. I just wanted to rattle his cage, and I ended up taking his spoiler off his car.
I mean, we might be teammates, but I'm just saying, Bristol, final lap, final turn, if you get a bumper, I just was meaning to rattle your cage. I just wanted to let you know I was there.
It's all good. And then we go
Now that we're teammates,
Talladega.
it's not payback.
And then we go to Talladega, which, I think going into both Daytona and Talladega, Jeff's probably the favorite at both those tracks. He won tonight, and he won a couple other lately that we've done on super speedways. So, Jeff, you seem to be the Pied Piper of super speedways lately.
I don't know. I think it's of course his teammates helping, and I just seem to be missing the wrecks. So I've been lucky on that, or just maybe a little skillful driving, but missing wrecks helps a lot.
You keep your car pretty darn square. I was behind you for a good part of the race today, and I mean, you hold the line. You get those. You don't wiggle. It's you're like glued. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I work on that because man, when you're on somebody's bumper and they're moving around, it is tough. I mean, because it's just tough, and I really work on trying to stay still as not to cause a wreck, because I know if you're being pushed and you wiggle, it's not the guy behind you, it's you wiggling. So yeah, you have to. I try to work on that a lot and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm curious. The league races again with the fast repairs. I think everyone's going to be significantly more conservative than they were tonight.
Oh,
So
sure.
let's. So then we go to Martinsville, and that's 185 laps. That's another short track in the playoffs. and then we go to Phoenix for championship night on March 26th. So we have extended the season out by 5 races this season, so a little longer season than we're used to. But we thought, hey, it's wintertime, and let's do this and see how it goes. So I'm excited for this season.
Yep, me too.
We have some of our new members that are actually in the waiting room, and let's bring them in a little bit and let's have a chat, get to know them a little bit, and let them tell us about their sim racing experience. Um,
Well,
and get to know these guys.
I've got to duck out. So
Okay, no problem, Jeff.
Julie, talk to you guys. I'll try to keep the voice on so I can hear the new guys. I'd love to hear what they have to say.
Okay.
All right. Good night, Jeff.
All right, good to see you guys.
So let's we'll bring Frank Zingen in. Frank's new to the league, and let's have a chat with him, Dave. Hey Frank, how you doing tonight? You're here with Rob and Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, not bad. So you're one of the I guess we'd call you rookies of the league, right? It's your first season.
Yeah,
first
that's
season
what I
with
would
us.
say. That's what I would say.
One of my questions: how'd you hear about it?
Honestly, I think I was scrolling Facebook, and I think you guys probably posted something in like an iRacing League Facebook group that I saw, and then I sent it to my buddy John, who was in there. And then we raced with Chris a couple times. We met Chris through Racing Atlanta earlier in the year. We were all drafting together, and we said, let's make a team. I was like, who can we grab? Well, we'll grab Chris, and that's who we brought.
I'm actually going to move all 3 of you in, and we'll have chat with all 3 of you at the same time because you're all on the same team, right?
Yeah.
Hey Chris, hey John, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, they sucked me into it.
We got everyone now. We can get some. We can starting to spy on your team now. If I try to figure out who our competition is. To be honest with you.
So who's the strategist of the team?
Oh, there's no strategy for us yet.
Now wait a minute. I heard you guys calling out cheeseburgers and French fries and waffles.
Oh yeah.
in the race
That's all.
tonight.
That was undercover code stuff, you know. We were just joking around. We didn't really have any codes or anything.
Boy, I thought for a minute we had Freddie Kraft and Brett Griffin in with us there from Door Bumper Clear. You know, they were talking that last week.
Yeah, they bring that up all the time. I listen to that weekly.
Yeah, I have an
Yeah, I called.
40-minute commute each night, and each day one way. So I listen to.
John wasn't
all
in
the
that race
podcasts.
with us,
He
but
missed a good
I
race.
called the 34 Pink Panther Flintstone slide.
Wait,
How
I'm the
long you guys
30.
been racing?
I'm the 34. Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Dave, you're not the 34 anymore. You're the 28. You
Was
changed
it?
your
No,
number.
I was the 34 in that race though.
Yeah, tonight you were, but you've
Yeah.
switched to 28 for the league race, right?
Yeah, that's true. New team, new number.
I've only
So-
been racing for since last December. I bought it probably the week of probably Christmas. I think I bought it.
How about you, Chris?
Why is there a delay in the
You
audio?
gotta pause the YouTube feed.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hey,
Chris?
Chris.
Yep, that's better. Sorry, guys. John and Frank know I'm not very computer. They're walking me through it, helping me.
You
I'm an
always
old
got
man.
that one guy on the team.
I'm the quarterback, though. I call the plays. This December will be 2 years for me. I raced a lot of dirt, though. Started out with the big block modifieds.
And you, John, how long you been doing iRacing?
I started just a few weeks after Frank did. He suckered me into it, you know.
It's all Frank's fault.
Yeah.
So, what are your guys' hopes for the season? What are your goals?
Well, now that we're seeing the payoffs, we want to get top 7 at least.
Yeah, that and I think just trying to race more competitively. Some of these other leagues, they don't put a cap on how high of an I rating you can have, and it just doesn't make anything competitive when someone's running away with it.
You know what I like, guys, when you do those recruitment races, some of those guys don't even know that you guys are in the back of the field scouting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was me tonight. I was scouting and kicking people pretty viciously.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
gotta
mean,
notice that.
we do these recruitment races. We always like to tell people, like, look, we just want to have fun. Like, and at most people, they only race once, twice a week, and everyone is always looking for just a good league to join that's going to have a good fun race. And that's what I always tell people in recruitment races. Is just like, we're just looking for people to have fun. Like, who cares? It's just a recruitment race, first of all. So just go out there and just have some fun, tear it up, without
And,
actually.
it's especially when you tell them that you're gonna give them waiver rounds and stuff. Like, what do you got to prove off the first few laps? You
Yeah.
know? Oh man. So yeah.
It always happens.
So,
So,
go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask them, as far as asphalt goes, how much asphalt races have you guys been doing? Is this, have you just been doing open cup races? Are you guys doing any modified legend racing, anything like that?
Well, for me during the week, I do all open racing. I asphalt. Not a huge dirt guy. I mean, I enjoy watching it, going to it, but on here, I just cannot figure it out on here.
What type of asphalt series do you do?
Anything with cup, the next gens.
Okay.
So I was telling, I don't know if it was maybe the last podcast when Keith, one of our other admins, was on with me. I was telling him, we were talking about it. I really struggled the first season and a half of the Joe Sixpack Racing League that Dave and I and a bunch of the other guys in the league were in. And I couldn't figure out why. I was burning my tires up and I was just all over the place. And I really went on YouTube and started doing some research. And your field of view settings have a huge impact on what you feel, what the car does, or how you wear your tires. And people don't realize this, but iRacing is as much visual cues as it is force feedback in your wheel. So if your field of view is not set correct, you don't really know what the car's doing. Your eyes aren't getting the visual cue. Your mind's not. So I'd really encourage anyone that is new to iRacing to go on YouTube. Tommy Braden has a really good video on field of view and how to set it. And you're gonna set it to it, and you're gonna be like, I can't see nothing. This doesn't feel right. And you're gonna want to back your field of view up so you get a wider field of view. And one of the biggest things that helped myself and Johnny Barker on my team, Greg Drace, when he was with us on our team a couple seasons ago, we told him about the field of view and got him to switch his up a little bit. And not lying, on a 1.5 mile track, it can be good for half a second a lap. So do the field of view calculator and then learn how to race that field of view, and it will help anyone that's struggling immensely.
It's that would take me a while to adapt to that if it's drastically different than what I run. I run a single monitor, so you guys all have triple monitors and.
No, I'm on a single.
Nope. I'm on
I run
a single. I got my pedals up on a cardboard box. I got my rolling chair fastened to the ground with beach towels around the wheels so I don't roll out of position when I'm hitting the brakes. We all got classes,
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I thought when I first did it, I said it and I was like, I can't race like this.
does it look like you're far back and sitting low in the car?
No, it looks like you're in the windshield.
Okay,
And
so it's a forward.
Yeah, and you can I could see to the A post, maybe a little bit past A post on the left, and I see right to like the red box in the center of the car.
Yeah, I kind of set mine so when I'm looking at, I set mine so when I look at the screen, my hands align up with the hands in the monitor because I'm only on a single monitor too.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell you
that's probably. I think
my
that's
field of
pretty
view is
close
a
to what
61.
my 61.
Yeah, I think I'm at like a 61 or something like that too.
And it's all, there's a calculator to do it. You measure the distance from your eye to the screen. You put that measurement in inches, or you can do it in centimeters. Put that in, and it tells you what to set your field of view at. And everyone that does it, that I've told this to, comes back and says, "Oh, I can't race like that," until they race like that, and then they're like, "Wow, this is better." So just some free advice to anyone listening. I see Greg just gave a thumbs up and said FOV is huge. Greg's seeing the difference in his racing with it. So, one of the things that we try to do in the league is help each other out. So
Yeah, that's
if
what's
that can
going
help
on.
someone out, great. We want to have everyone to have a fun experience.
Yeah.
Even the force feedback, Rob, you told me that one time about force feedback. I started fiddling around with it, and it makes a huge difference. Like, yeah, you're pulling on the wheel a lot more, but at the same time, you just feel so much more in the car.
Yeah. So rule of thumb: go get in your car, hit F10, F10, F9 maybe. It's where it has your graphics menu pop up in your black box, and it has your force feedback number. Just leave it alone. Go out, run 3-4 laps. It'll pop up auto next to it. Hit that auto, and that's what I run for my force feedback at every track. So every time I go on the track, whether it's practice or what, that's the first thing I do. I go out and I run some laps and get that auto configuration set, my force feedback. And it just lets me feel I can feel the right front so much better that way.
I'm scared of changes.
I'm telling you, try it and you'll be amazed.
Don't be scared. It makes a huge. It does make a difference. I didn't think so either. Rob used to tell me all the time, and I'd always be like, "Shut up, Rob! I'm done hearing you talk about my settings on my steering wheel." And then I caved and did it, and next thing you know, I was definitely like a few tenths faster and actually saving tires, not getting halfway through a run and then telling me my right front's burned out.
And one of the things we haven't even talked about with the league yet, and this will give you a chance to try. I get not wanting to make changes. I'm the same way. I'm a creature of habit. But we have a practice race every Friday night at 7 p.m. So we put the race conditions in, the race length. It's all what you're going to race on Sunday in the actual league race, and we have a league practice race night. So
is it the same length?
Yep, everything's identical to what you're going to race on Sunday.
Yep.
You got a practice tonight going on later?
Not tonight, just because we had the recruitment race. But next Friday night for Daytona, we will have a practice race.
So basically, we have a practice race the Friday night before every race, and it's always it's free. You already paid for it, so we try to get as many people in as possible. Because I like to practice race, especially if you can't get a lot of seat time during the week. You could finally start to figure stuff out, and then we also do the comp caution.
Just be ready to go.
Yeah, and the comp caution too. We always tell there's no points for it. It was always kind of a to help people out who can't make the practice race. It gives them at least 20 laps to kind of do some laps with the pack and figure things out, and then kind of the racing start.
There's no mandatory drive-through or anything for the caution. You can keep just rolling around.
No, it's no mandatory, as Rob can attest to. It becomes it's a lot more strategy, and that's we for the past couple seasons, because we rebranded. So the past few seasons we've been fooling around with where to put the comp caution in. 25%, 40%, 30%. So we fiddled with it, and I think we're at a good number where it starts to play into some strategy, some savings. It makes the races more than who can just get tires every time and blast through the field,
Well, I'll tell you as a little secret about our team. Our strategy is to win.
Well, at the end of the day, I think that's everyone's strategy.
So I'm just wondering the general question. What are you guys running for laps at Homestead?
At Homestead.
Yeah.
It's 100 and hold on, I had it up on my phone.
I know what are you guys running for
the lap
times?
times.
Yeah.
I was qualifying during the official races last week at like 30.3. No, take that back. No.
I was say, holy cow!
I could get. I was 39.3. There was guys that were in the 38s.
I think you're thinking 32, maybe.
Yeah,
Is it
32 and
32?
33s.
Yeah,
Low
32.
33s.
I'm thinking Michigan the other night. Yeah, 39. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could get down in the threes. There was guys higher iracing could get down like in 4/10 faster than me, but I was only dropping off about a second and a half over a 30-lap run. So
Yeah.
I could
See, I like
save-
that track because that's one of those tracks where you got to save your tires.
Yeah.
I think if this runs like last season, you're going to find that most of these races, we do a lot of green flag runs, believe it or not. I don't know if you watched any of our previous races from last season, but I mean, that was the most impressive thing with last season is just some of the green flag runs we would do. It was wild.
You guys know what to look for. You win out all the hot shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we gotta watch out for the rookies. You should put a yellow stripe on your car just so everyone knows.
We had
I'll put a yellow bumper on mine.
We had several races last year that we went only caution was a comp caution.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Atlanta
runs.
The Atlanta second race of the season in Atlanta, we had the comp caution. No, take it back. We had a caution lap 12. We had the comp caution at lap 35, and then we went to lap 130, which is checkers caution free.
What'd you guys decide to do on Watkins Glen thing? Is that still up in the air?
Watkins Glen will be local cautions only.
I know. Are you keeping it at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, it's gonna be Watkins Glen. And the beauty of the league is we have a drop race, so
yep.
You only we're gonna have to say the drop rate. How's that gonna work, Dave? Because we haven't thought that through. Because the drop race would have to be in the first 11 races, because you can't drop races in the final 5.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, it just dawned on me. So, yeah, first 11 races you can drop a race, and then the final 5 will have to count. So
that's perfect because it'll be a road course for me.
Yeah, so Watkins Glen is.
And I'm gonna for Watkins Glen. I know a bunch of people are dreading it, but I'm gonna try to put up an extra practice, and we can get some extra. Everyone gets some extra laps on the track. Cause it's one of those tracks that I hated it too. We did Sonoma a few years back, and I hated it too. But once you do like a couple laps and you just get into the zone, and I snowboard, so like you get into that flow on these tracks, and it gets so rhythmic and like, especially when you start clicking it, it just gets so soothing.
Well, and at least it's a track that's been around forever. I mean, if you've been playing NASCAR racing games since '98, it's been on there. It's not like you're trying to learn Road of America or COTA that have millions of turns and different straightaways and all kinds of different braking zones.
Yeah, Glen's a classic.
Glen's got a good flow to it.
Yep.
It's probably the best track for the next gen car. Just in general, just cup racing in general, it's probably the best track for it.
It'll probably be a Dover or Darlington drop for me.
Darlington.
Yeah,
you gotta get your stripe.
I gotta learn Darlington. I have never raced there.
Since we're doing the throwback, what would you guys vote for your era or what year would you guys want to see for the throwback year?
Oof, that's hard.
We all need chariot paint schemes. Gladiators. Bristol,
I like
the
90s.
right?
The 90s is always a strong one because there's so many paint schemes. That was back when they had different paint schemes all the time.
Yeah, we've done 92 because we did that at Charlotte last year. So we did a one hot night tribute. So we did 92. And we've done 96, which was at Wilkesboro, because we did 96 because that was the last year that they raced at Wilkesboro. But I am looking to do something different. I'm not trying to be lazy here and do another year that we've already done. We were thinking 99 just because of the drivers that were in 99.
Yeah. It's just it's something they don't really do anymore. Like they used to have movie schemes all the time and music all the time. They don't do any of that stuff anymore. It's just it's all sponsor money now, but it's not what it used to be with the paint schemes all the time.
Yeah, they try. You know, Harvick always has some good ones. You know, his Halloween scheme this weekend looks pretty sweet. I mean,
Boosh.
there are some pretty nice schemes out there. But I agree with you. It's nothing like the 90s.
No.
Well, guys, we thank you for dropping in, and
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna let you guys go. We got about 9 minutes left in the podcast, and Dave and I are going to. I'm gonna put Dave on the spot and make him make some predictions for the upcoming season. So
Oh shit!
thanks for dropping in, and you three guys gonna race Sunday night at Michigan with us?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna be there for sure.
Okay.
I'll be there. That's my favorite track.
Perfect. We will see you guys then.
All right, thanks for
We're
having us.
We're looking forward to having you guys with us this season.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good night. Okay, Dave, this is where I put you on the hot seat.
Oh boy!
But don't worry, I'm gonna be on the hot seat too.
I figured as much. Or I was going to put you on the hot seat if it was, just going to be me.
Give me your top 7 for the playoffs. Make your prediction now.
I honestly think Keith Fallen, first of all, our reigning champion.
Okay, that's a softball.
Yeah. I mean, I had to hit that one.
Yeah, we both. Okay, we're tracking there.
There's just no way. He's just too consistent. I don't see him unless he has a down season. I don't see him not making it to the 7. Then I got
3. Give me 3.
No, I'll give you the 7. I'll give you the 7. So I think definitely him. Then I'm going to say you. Yeah, I mean, you've been getting faster every season. So as long as you just don't get caught up in your usual BS, and take yourself out a couple times.
You mean like
I think
the pace car coming into the pits twice last season?
Yeah, pitting and closed pit roads, getting black flags for speeding, whatever else you've done. Then honestly, Jeff, I think Barefoot. I'm going to get Barefoot in there.
Jeff's one of those consistent guys. He's just steady.
And now I'm gonna seem like I'm favoriting our entire team because I'd like to say me, but
you're always gonna be a threat.
I know I had an off season last season, so I'm worried. Hopefully now that I'll have someone who can strategize on my team, so I can figure out a tire saving method. And then I think honestly, I'm gonna 2 rookies. I don't know any of the new rookies' names really yet, but I'm gonna put 2 rookies in there. I don't, whoever. I think there's a bunch of good ones, so there's definitely 2 rookies that are gonna make it.
Yeah, it's tough because you've been busy at work, so you haven't been in as many recruiting races as like Jeff or Johnny or me. I'm gonna say Keith.
All right.
Johnny Barker's gonna be tough.
I forgot about Johnny.
Brandon Redford. He's new to the league. He's gonna be tough. Chris and Frank are both gonna be tough. I agree. Jeff Barefoot's gonna be right there. Who else we got?
I mean, I think there's also going to be some surprises.
I got a couple dark. I'm gonna say a couple dark horses, and actually, I don't think he's probably not a dark horse. He's probably I'm gonna pick him for my 7th pick. Nick Larson. So Nick got in last year, and he hadn't really last season. He hadn't done as much cup racing, next gen racing as maybe most of us had. But his learning curve has been shortened tremendously compared to what most of us go through. Um, Nick's going to get a win this year, this season. So I'm excited.
There's one guy. What was that? No, you go. Keep going.
And I don't. I'm not sure. I think it's wide open. Keith is going to be really tough. The guy does not make mistakes. He can save tires. And
yeah, and he's going to have teammates this year.
Yeah.
Which I think one of his is Kerry Shaver is one of his teammates, I believe, right?
Yeah, Kerry.
So Kerry was a solid guy last season, and I think, I think having Keith as a teammate, we're gonna watch people like Kenny really kind of jump up and start really challenging. I mean, you look at some of the guys, our original guys in the league. I know Jeff even attests to it. Just racing with some of us. I mean, Jeff has made leaps and bounds with how much better he's gotten and more talented he's gotten at racing. I mean, the super speedway stuff he's done is it's like I said, he's a freaking rock. He was.
Yeah, I feel like Jeff is the guy to be in the super speedways this season. I really.
But there's one guy we forgot is Art. I forgot all about Art.
Art. Yeah, Art.
He's a sneakily fast guy, man. Like
Art won. Well, Art crossed the finish line first at Talladega last season, and I felt really bad about how it went down. It was a green-white checkers, and coming to the green, there was a wreck before the start-finish line, and the leaders wrecked first, second, third, something like that, and Art went by him, avoiding the wreck, and those guys couldn't come around to finish, and Art won the race. And iracing black flagged him for passing under the yellow. And our league rules is we don't clear black flags. And we talked about as admins, and we're like, hey, we know this situation has happened lap 4, lap 5 before, and people have had to serve the black flag because our rule is we don't clear the black flags. And Art ended up getting DQ'd from the win post race automatically by iracing. And Art handled it with grace. He understood. So yeah, Art is going to be a threat this year. He's kind of like Keith, very steady, doesn't make mistakes, and he's good at saving tires. A couple races last year, I looked up in my mirror late in a run, and Art's right there with us. So
yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm actually excited for the season. I think they finally are getting these cars right. I think that's a big thing. With all the little updates they've been doing, the cars feel, I think personally, they feel a lot better than they did a couple weeks ago, even a couple months ago.
Yeah. And we haven't talked about is our broadcaster this season. This season we have Matt from Extreme Sim TV as our broadcaster, and looking forward to it.
Matt's a good guy. He broadcast another league for that I was in. I was in a rallycross league, and he broadcasted another league, and he knows what he's talking about, which makes it interesting to listen to because at least there's definitely not a lot of dead air with him because he does know his racing and he knows what to talk about. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
And what I like, he's got that classic Southern drawl that brings me back to the days of Buddy Baker and those guys in the booth. So I'm really excited. It just gives that classic NASCAR feel to the broadcast, and I'm excited for this season. And we're just about an hour into the podcast, so I guess we should wrap it up. But is there anything you want to add, Dave, or discuss before we hop off the air?
No. I think we pretty much covered it all this hour. Like I said, I'm excited to get the season started. Looking forward to it. I think there's still time to get people in. So, hopefully if anyone's out there who's got some friends who do iRacing, you heard from the guys who were on earlier. They all are just friends who met on iRacing and joined our league. So you got friends, make sure you tell them about it, and we'll see. Hopefully we get some more people in there and we can get more cars. I'm just looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and playing off that point real quick, if you're a member of the league or a member someone that wants to get in the league, highly encourage you to go into the team section. There's several teams that are still looking to fill out their 5-man team. You're allowed 5 full-time team members and 2 part-time team members, and being part of a team really makes the experience even that much more special. And as you heard from some of the guys talking, you can work and practice together. You can help each other get faster, and it makes even in race a lot more fun having someone to talk to in your Discord chat.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, Dave. Well, thanks for coming on tonight, and maybe one night next week we can recap the Halloween Havoc race and get into a little bit of a pre-Daytona chat with maybe we get a couple other league members in to talk.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll have. I think we can go over all the rules and just kind of make sure everyone's on the same page with everything going on with the league.
Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for racing the race, the recruitment race tonight, and then thank you guys for listening for the podcast. And we will catch everyone Sunday night for the Halloween Havoc race.
All right, have a good night, Rob.
Have a good night, Dave. See ya.
Yep.